The NFL saw one hell of a wild card weekend this past weekend, and there's no reason to think that we won't see a great divisional round this weekend as well. I am Ty, I will be your host. Welcome back or welcome to America's Sports, where we're going to break down and preview all of the games for the divisional rounds this weekend. And during Wild Card Weekend, I was 4-2 straight up, 4-2 against the spread, and also 4-2 against the over and the under. Get ready, my friends. It's going to be another crazy weekend. Let's get into the games. The number 6 seeded Buffalo Bills travel yet again to Denver to face the number 1 seed in the AFC, the Broncos. The Bills are now overall 6-3 on the road, while the Broncos are 8-1 at home. Denver is favored by 1.5 points, with the over-under at 45.5, the lines that haven't moved, really. Now, for the forecast, it's basically everything you would want in an NFL playoff game in January. Mostly sunny with a little bit of clouds and close to 50 degrees. And it's important for the kickers, too, as the wind is going to be about non-existent. We're looking at maximum of about 2 to 3 miles an hour, at least so far. It's hard to imagine a world where guys like Shakir and Kincaid don't get a ton of targets this week. And Shakir last week was already targeted the most that he had been targeted all year and maybe of his entire young NFL career. So some legs that I like early on in this week are Shakir to get 5+ receptions. I like Sutton to get 4+ receptions. Kincaid to get 2+ receptions. And then lastly, I like James Cook to get 10+ rushing yards in the first quarter. If you want to up the ante a little bit, then I would suggest to put Kincaid down for 3+ catches instead of 2. The greatness of Josh Allen is what got them past Jacksonville, and Denver's defense is just as good, if not better, than Jacksonville's. So it's likely to be on Josh Allen's back again to cause pain or cheers for the fans in Buffalo. The Bills also gave up 154 total rushing yards to the Jacksonville Jaguars in last week's game. However, they were able to pick off Lawrence twice. That's going to be the key here. The Bills did not turn the ball over last week, and they cannot turn it over to Denver this week either, especially more than once. They could possibly get away with one time, but they're going to have to play squeaky clean football. No penalties, no picks. The Bills, you have to give a lot of respect for being able to get Josh Allen into the end zone. Josh Allen is just a big motherfucker, and when they got close, they did their own version of the tush push, and it looked really hard to stop. I mean, they literally set up a guy in the back of Josh and just shoving him through everybody. And it was very successful in the red zone. You better believe they're going to try something to that effect again. Can Bo Nix do that? And by that, I mean, can Bo Nix also put the offense on his back and carry them into a win? Because Buffalo's defense, we've talked a lot about Denver and Jacksonville's defense, but Buffalo's defense is no slouch either. The only thing about Buffalo is that they just don't generate close to the same number of sacks as Denver. So you would think that Bo Nix will have more time than Josh Allen will. So he doesn't have to play better than Josh, but he's got to be able to carry them at times. Let's just keep those turnovers to a minimum as well, of course. And Jacksonville was able to run on Buffalo. You would think Denver would be able to as well. Jacksonville convinced me that they were a top and legitimate team this year. I picked Jacksonville to win. But Denver didn't have to convince me a whole lot. I already knew Denver was going to be really good. I know Bills fans are going to be like, okay, please keep picking against us. So I'm going with Denver again. I do think that the winner of this game has a wonderful chance of going to the Super Bowl. Denver and Buffalo of the AFC look like the two best teams to me. Although, you got to give a lot of props to Houston and New England, of course. So things could change by next week. But right now, these, to me, are the two best teams in the AFC. Give me the Broncos to win, and I'm going to go with the over here. It's gonna be barely over, and of course with the Broncos having a 1-point spread, I'm gonna take them to cover, but I could totally see it being 24-23. All right, let's get on to the next one. Before the playoffs started, I asked you who would win the Super Bowl, and for those of you who saw it, thank you for voting. This is what the results were, and no one commented another team like the Rams. This Saturday Showdown video is brought to you by the Armchair Army. The Armchair Army now has Make-Believe Tactical Bubblegum in 3 Make-Believe flavors. Number 6 seeded San Francisco 49ers in the NFC took down Philly in Philly 23-19, making them now 8-2 on the road on the year. They traveled to face their division opponent and rivals, the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle, where Seattle's 6-2 at home, and Seattle is a 7-point favorite with the over-under at 44.5. Weather should be somewhere between 30 to 40 degrees at the time, and the wind gust is only up to about 7 miles an hour, according to right now. So really, not much of an issue. The Niners, you could say, for the first time in a while, definitely have the odds stacked against them. This is a division rival that you're playing in their home territory. This is the second time you're seeing them in the last 3 weeks, and the last time you saw them, it didn't end well. And like you have been, you're facing more injuries. They for sure lost George Kittle, as you know, and they've definitely lost the safety Brown as well. They're trying to get Pearsall and Fred Warner back, but as of right now, we don't know. Seattle, though, at least when it comes to starters, doesn't really have any injuries, except one that just popped up. It's Sam Darnold. Apparently suffered an oblique injury during practice today. So that's definitely interesting, but overall, Seahawks are much healthier than San Francisco is. Seattle's defense is very tough, and I'm sure it'll be even tougher in Seattle. They're basically damn near as good as Denver is at stopping the run. Beat San Fran for the division, and you gotta love the story of Sam Darnold, who took Minnesota to the playoffs last year, and they still didn't fully believe in him. He and his wide receiver have really balled out. These two teams played each other in the first week of the season and the last week of the season, and both times, points, touchdowns, whatever, all of it was hard to come by, and I imagine it'll be like that again. See, what Seattle has been able to do better than anybody of recent memory has kept Christian McCaffrey out of the end zone, and for a team that's been injured all year like the 49ers, McCaffrey has been the focal point of the offense. Not like he hasn't been in years past, but you know what I mean. It's even more on him to score touchdowns with those guys injured. And then on the flip side, the 49ers haven't really been able to stop Seattle's number one weapon in Smith and Jigba. He's averaging over 100 yards a game receiving on them. And the Niners last week only had 75 total rushing yards. They're going to need a lot more than that, but damn it, it's going to be hard. Seattle only gives up about 90 on the season. I would look for McCaffrey to be better still, though, but he's got to be used more in the pass game. I mean, Juwan Jennings has to step up. McCaffrey has to step up. Demarcus Robinson did his thing last week, but you can't expect him to be the guy that goes off for you every single week. It's going to be a collective effort if San Francisco is to win this game. Funny enough, the two straight-up losses that I had last week was the Bills and the San Francisco 49ers. Some plays I like are Smith and Jigba to get 70-plus receiving yards. He's going to have a busy day. I like McCaffrey to have a busy day as well. I'm going to put him down for both 40 rushing yards and 40 receiving yards, and then I like Kenneth Walker to have 2 catches as well in this game. I'm staying away from a lot of the passing props because Sam Darnold, for one, did not throw for over 200 passing yards against 49ers in either game, and Brock only threw for over 200 passing yards once. In a month's time, it's really hard to beat a team, especially a good team, a rivalry team, twice. It's hard to do that. But I have faith in Seattle. I'm going to double down on this because Seattle is for real. I love Kenneth Walker. Charbonnet has, carved himself out a nice role. Seattle's healthier. Seattle's at home. And I'm going under, too. I think it's going to be a lot like the first 2 times they played. There's not going to be a lot of points scored. I think Seattle does not cover, though. I'm going to take Seattle by 3. That'll do it for Saturday's edition of the Divisional Round Predictions. Thank you for making it to the end of this. Be sure to leave a comment on what you think is going to happen, and be sure to look out for more of America's sports. I'm Ty, and you will see me in the next one.